The quiet. It settles around us now, a space we carve out from the hurried world, just for a moment, just for you, and for the whispers of a truth you may have felt deep within, but perhaps never fully named. Have you ever noticed, in those moments of profound connection, when another's presence truly reaches you, how the air around you seems to shift? Not just warm, not just comforting, but something else. A subtle tremor, a quickening breath, a pulse that dances a rhythm you don't quite recognize. It's a curious thing, isn't it? This raw electric current that flows between two souls. Between a man and a woman flows not just passion, but life itself. And sometimes, in its initial surge, it carries with it a sensation that can feel unsettling. A lightness in the chest, perhaps, or a prickle along the skin. A shiver that isn't from cold, but from something far deeper. A gentle chill amidst the warmth of burgeoning desire. And in that precise instant, you might find yourself suspended, unable to discern the boundaries. Where does the tremor end? Where does the yearning begin? Is this apprehension? Or is it the very first whisper of a profound attraction, calling you to step forward? This is not the fear of danger, no. It's not the instinct to flee. This is something far more intimate, more ancient. It is the subtle hesitation of the soul, standing on the precipice of its own awakening. It is the self encountering its own uncharted depths. We are taught, often implicitly, that desire is a simple, direct force, a straightforward path towards pleasure. But the truth is far more nuanced, far more beautiful. Desire is the language through which the soul speaks, and sometimes its initial pronouncements are not shouts of joy, but soft, trembling inquiries. Think of it. When a deep attraction takes root, when you feel that pull, that unmistakable resonance with another, does your heart simply open unreservedly? Or is there, often, a moment of profound vulnerability, a moment where the protective layers we build around ourselves begin to thin, and the raw, unadorned self is exposed, even if only to our own inner gaze? This is the point where our deepest self, our most authentic energy, is stirring. And any stirring of the deep, whether it be the ocean or the human spirit, can evoke a powerful, almost sacred trepidation. It is the recognition of potential, the vast, unknown potential that lies within intimacy. This initial confusion, this blurring of lines between a subtle fear and a burgeoning desire, it is not a flaw. It is not a weakness. It is, in fact, an exquisite sensitivity. A compass needle spinning wildly for a moment, trying to orient itself to a new, powerful magnetic field. It speaks to the immense power of this energy, the creative force that resides within us, the very current of life itself. When it begins to move, when it begins to stir within us and between us, it shakes loose the stagnant, it challenges the familiar, and in that challenge, there is always a moment of recalibration. A man doesn't lose power when he ages. He loses it when he stops looking with wonder. And a woman, when she breathes deeply, life breathes with her, and that breath can carry both the warmth of spring and the cool clarity of mountain air. Both sensations are vital. Both are part of the journey. This isn't about choosing one feeling over the other. It's about recognizing them both, embracing the entire spectrum of sensation that arises when our deepest energies are called forth. It's about understanding that the chill is not a signal to retreat, but perhaps a sign of the profound transformation about to unfold. For what we call fear in these moments is often simply reverence. Reverence for the magnitude of what is being awakened. Reverence for the life force itself. And when we truly understand this, we begin to unlock something extraordinary. We begin to understand that attraction is not sin. It's the universe remembering itself through us. This space where fear meets desire, it is not a place of conflict. It is a threshold, a sacred doorway into a deeper, richer understanding of who we are and what we are truly capable of. It's where we begin to learn that the very current of life, in its most intimate expression, often begins with a quiet yet powerful tremor. We often speak of desire as a simple pull, a magnetic force. Yet for so many of us, it arrives entangled, a whisper of yearning, caught in the currents of apprehension. A paradox, isn't it? To feel drawn and simultaneously to feel a profound resistance. This intricate dance, this delicate tension between wanting and fearing has a history. A long, quiet history woven into the fabric of our lives from the earliest moments. Think back to those first stirrings of sensation, of curiosity, of life force. How often were they met not with celebration, but with caution, with a hushed warning? We learn to hide our desire behind a wall of apprehension. From childhood, we are told that some feelings are bad, wrong, too much, too loud, too vibrant. And so, the very current that seeks to move through us learns to find detours, to mask its true face. When that true, potent life energy rises from within, it often comes in a guise that feels familiar, a guise we've been conditioned to recognize and perhaps to fear. It might arrive as a flutter of anxiety, a wave of vulnerability that feels almost overwhelming, even as a deep, unsettling fear. The fear of being too alive, too radiant, the fear of being truly seen in our naked, vibrant essence, the fear of losing control over that magnificent, wild current that flows through us. We mistake the intensity of life for a threat. We confuse its raw power with something dangerous. And what happens then, when we learn to suppress this fundamental current, when we wall off its natural expression? We don't just lose a part of ourselves, we diminish the whole. When energy is blocked, we don't just lose sex, we lose vitality. We lose that innate spark that fuels creativity, that ignites purpose, that binds us in true intimacy. We lose the deep, resonant hum of being fully alive. The world around us and within us becomes a little duller, a little more muted.
Perhaps, then, the journey back isn't about finding a new path, but about remembering the old one, the one etched into your very being. It's about gently peeling back those layers of learned fear to reveal the desire that has always been there. Not as a problem, but as a promise, a sacred invitation. Love, feel, breathe. The energy within you has never died. It's been waiting for you to awaken. Мы говорим часто о желании, о притяжении, как будто эта сила отдельная от нас, что-то внешнее, или, быть может, что-то внутри, но дикое, неукротимое, и да, порой даже пугающее. Разве мы все не ощущали эту дрожь? Этот тихий озноб, когда притяжение настолько глубоко, что кажется почти опасным? Но давайте остановимся здесь, давайте просто вдохнем, и давайте заглянем немного глубже, под поверхность ощущений, за пределы немедленного томления. Что если то, что мы называем желанием, это не просто физическая потребность? Что если это нечто гораздо более глубокое, более древнее, более существенное для самой ткани жизни? Желание, друзья мои, это язык, на котором говорит душа. Это не просто зов тела, Нет, это фундаментальный импульс к созиданию, к расширению, к глубокой резонансной связи, которая откликается во всем сущем. Это та самая искра, что зажигает далекие звезды, та безмолвная, настойчивая сила, что заставляет самый маленький нежный цветок поворачиваться к теплу солнца. Представьте себе, тот же священный поток, тот же изначальный импульс, живой внутри вас. Притяжение — это не грех, это Вселенная, вспоминающая себя. Это узнавание родственной вибрации, глубокий резонанс, магнитная тяга, что шепчет «здесь, здесь рост, здесь жизнь, здесь потенциал, ожидающий своего раскрытия». Это Вселенная в миниатюре, отражающая свой величественный, гармоничный замысел в каждом из нас. И когда мы ощущаем этот мощный поток, этот огромный бурлящий ток жизни, этот глубокий призыв к расширению, к слиянию, наш разум, столь часто приученный бояться интенсивности, может истолковать его неверно. Наши тела, возможно, непривычны к такой живой, неукротимой энергии, могут воспринять ее не как благословение, а как угрозу. Внезапный прилив, мгновенная потеря того, что мы считаем контролем, и из этого глубокого непонимания эта прекрасная, ошеломляющая жизненная сила может проявиться как страх. Это не страх чего-то внешнего, не опасность извне, нет. Это дрожь перед собственной безграничной энергией, благоговение, возможно, замаскированное под опасение, глубокое первобытное признание чистой, неудержанной жизненной силы, которая непрестанно течет внутри каждого из нас. Это ощущение полного, мощного пробуждения к жизни, когда старое «я», ограниченное «я», переживает момент глубокой, захватывающей дух неопределенности. Эта энергия, видите ли, не предназначена для заточения, она не предназначена для страха. Это сам ток жизни, созидательный, исцеляющий, священный. Он жаждет течь, вдохновлять, преобразовывать. Это сама суть того, кто вы есть, терпеливо ждущая, когда вы поймете ее.
Примите ее. Не как проблему, которую нужно решить, или зверя, которого нужно приручить, но как великолепный, сияющий дар, который нужно по-настоящему раскрыть. Любите, чувствуйте, дышите. Энергия внутри вас никогда не умирала, она ждала, когда вы проснетесь. We've journeyed together, haven't we? Explored that fascinating, often perplexing landscape where the delicate tremor of apprehension dances so intimately with the powerful thrum of anticipation. It's a space where the boundaries blur, where the very currents of fear and desire can intertwine so completely that we lose our sense of direction, adrift in the intricate labyrinth of our own hearts. This delicate confusion, this profound human condition, is to feel both drawn and, at times, inexplicably repelled by the very source of our deepest aliveness. The yearning for connection, for passion, for the vibrant pulse of life can so easily be obscured by shadows of the past, by unspoken anxieties. But how, you might find yourself asking, in the quiet solitude of your own thoughts, do we begin to untangle this intricate, deeply embedded knot? How do we find our way back to clarity, to the pure, unadulterated current of what truly moves us, what genuinely calls to our spirit? It is not, I assure you with every fiber of my being, through suppression. Not by hardening our hearts, not by rigidly shutting down our senses, not by turning away from the very sensations that seek so desperately to speak to us. Such an act, though it might promise a temporary reprieve from discomfort, only dulls the magnificent vibrancy of life itself. It diminishes the rich, sensual tapestry of our experience, leaving us feeling muted, disconnected, and ultimately unfulfilled. No, the path forward, the true way home, is one of profound spaciousness. It is a journey of mindful observation, of unwavering presence. It is simply about being. Being here, now, in this moment, with all that arises within you. It is a path that asks for a gentle yet persistent turning inward. A sacred pause in the relentless, often demanding, pace of the external world. A moment to listen to the quiet wisdom of your own being. Imagine, for a profound moment, the breath. Your very own breath. It is not merely an automatic bodily function, it is the fundamental rhythm of life itself. It is the invisible yet powerful pulse that connects your intricate inner world, your emotions, your thoughts, your deepest yearnings, to the vast, boundless expanse outside. When we allow ourselves to breathe deeply, truly deeply, from the very core of our being, we don't just take in air. We invite life itself to breathe with us. Feel it now, perhaps. Allow your shoulders to drop, your jaw to soften. A slow, deliberate inhale drawing energy deep into your belly, and an equally unhurried, gentle exhale releasing all that no longer serves. This simple yet profoundly powerful act is a gateway, a sacred portal to deeper connection. When a woman breathes deeply, life breathes with her. Her entire essence expands, her being softens like a blossom unfurling, and the vital energy that might have been held tight, constricted by fear or expectation, now begins to flow freely, like a liberated river. It is a profound release, a tender surrender, a gentle and powerful reclaiming of her own inherent vital force. And for a man, too, this deep, conscious breath is an anchoring, a profound reconnection to his own grounded power, to his inner strength. It allows him to hold space, not just for another, but for himself, with an unwavering, compassionate presence.
It is the foundation upon which true intimacy is built. When we consciously, mindfully meet these feelings, both the subtle, insistent tremor of fear, that whisper of old stories and forgotten pains, and the undeniable, magnetic pull of attraction, that profound, primal call of the soul, we must, absolutely must, give them space. Not to judge them, not to analyze them into submission or intellectually dismantle their power, but simply to observe them, to acknowledge their presence, like unexpected yet important guests arriving at the threshold of your awareness. What does that tremor, that echo of fear, truly feel like in your physical body? Is it a sudden, sharp tightening in the chest, constricting the heart? A peculiar lightness or dizziness in the head? A clenching in the gut, a knot of old anxieties? And the attraction, where does its vibrant energy resonate? Is it a warmth, a blossoming heat deep in the belly? A tingling sensation on the skin? A spark, a sudden bright illumination behind the eyes? A quiet, resonant hum that vibrates through your very bones? This, my friends, is where the sacred art of discernment truly begins. This profound act of distinguishing, of sensing with exquisite gentleness the true nature of what stirs within. It is not a harsh judgment, but a soft, intelligent inquiry. We learn to ask, softly, without demand, almost as if speaking to a shy child. Where is fear merely an echo? An echo of old stories, you see, old wounds that have never fully healed, old patterns of protection that no longer serve the magnificent being you are becoming. It is a phantom limb of past pain, projecting its shadows onto the new, the unknown, the potentially transformative. It is not real, not in this moment, not in its essential truth. And where, amidst this intricate interplay of sensation and memory, is desire? Where is it the pure, unadulterated call of our soul to the fullness of being? The genuine, uncorrupted yearning for connection, for expansion, for the sacred, vibrant dance of life itself. A desire not born of lack, but of an overflowing abundance within. This journey,
This tender, patient untangling of the threads that bind us requires a specific kind of courage. It is not the courage of confrontation, of brute force or aggressive assertion. No, it is the profound courage of vulnerability. The courage to open, to soften, to feel deeply and completely without judgment. To allow the raw, unfiltered truth of our emotions, our sensations, our deepest longings to surface, knowing deep in our bones that in their very emergence lies their transformation. To be vulnerable is not, as society often whispers, to be weak. It is to be utterly, profoundly real. It is to stand naked, not just before the universe, not just before another soul, but most importantly, before oneself. It is to accept, with radical compassion, every single facet of what it means to be alive, in all its messy, glorious complexity. It is in this radical acceptance, this open-hearted allowing, that true, unbreakable strength is forged. It is a strength that comes not from resistance, but from surrender. Consider, for a moment, the man. In our modern culture, there is often a deeply ingrained misconception that power is equated with rigidity, with stoicism, with an unyielding, impenetrable front. That a man must be a rock, impervious to emotion, unmoved by the tides of life. But true power, authentic masculine energy, is not about never wavering, never feeling. It is about profound depth, unwavering presence, and an astonishing capacity for wonder. A man doesn't lose power when he ages. He loses it when he stops looking with wonder at this world and at himself. When he ceases to be curious. When he closes himself off to the magnificent mystery that surrounds him and resides within him. When he stops seeking the sacred in the mundane, the extraordinary in the everyday. To reignite that wonder is to reignite his very essence, to reconnect with the infinite wellspring of his creative and passionate spirit. It is to find the courage to be open, to be curious, to let himself be moved, to allow himself to feel rather than just constantly moving or doing. It is in this gentle yet fierce re-engagement with wonder that true virility and potency find their sacred ground. Desire, my friends, in this deeper, more profound sense, is not merely the body calling for fleeting physical sensation. No, desire is the language through which the soul speaks. It is the soul singing, its ancient, eternal melody resonating through every cell of your being. It is the universe remembering itself through us, seeking to express its inherent longing for unity, for connection, for the blissful dance of creation. When we allow this sacred current to flow freely, when we honor its intrinsic, deeply spiritual nature, it transforms from a fleeting physical urge, often riddled with anxiety or expectation, into a powerful, regenerative force. It becomes the wellspring of pure creativity, the incandescent fire of inspiration that fuels our most ambitious dreams, the quiet, unwavering strength that sustains us through life's inevitable challenges. It is, indeed, the very current of life itself, creative, healing, and sacred. It is the engine of all growth, all beauty, all connection. When this vital energy is blocked, when fear holds sway, dominating the delicate balance over desire, we don't just lose sex in its purely physical manifestation. We lose something far more profound. We lose vitality. We lose the sparkle in our eyes, the spontaneous laughter, the spring in our step, the imaginative spark that fuels our dreams and ignites our passions. We become disconnected, not just from others, but from the deepest, most vibrant, most authentic parts of ourselves. We might feel a quiet sadness, a pervasive longing for something undefined. But by bravely facing these intertwined threads, by patiently distinguishing the echoes of fear from the pure, clear song of desire, we begin the profound process of healing. We begin to mend the distance, that often invisible chasm between body and soul, inviting emotional closeness to flourish once more, like a long-dormant garden suddenly bursting into bloom. This, then, is a journey of quiet reclamation, a gentle, profound awakening to the timeless truth that has always resided, patiently dormant within you. It is a process that unfolds in its own time, with its own sacred rhythm unique to each individual. And it asks only for your presence, your conscious breath, and your unwavering willingness to feel deeply, to feel completely, without judgment, without agenda, simply allowing what is to be. In this spacious, sacred acceptance, the old constricting knots begin, slowly, gently, to loosen, and the pure, clear, life-affirming stream of energy finds its way home, back to its rightful place within you. It is here, in this profound stillness, in this intimate solitude, that you can begin to truly hear the whisper of your own soul. It is guiding you, not towards fleeting, superficial passion, but towards enduring, authentic intimacy. Not towards external validation or fleeting gratification, but towards internal wholeness, towards a sense of profound completeness that resonates from your very core. The nostalgia you feel, the quiet sadness, the persistent longing, the gentle curiosity that brings you to these words, these are not weaknesses. They are, in fact, sacred signposts. They are the initial, tender stirrings of your own inherent wisdom, guiding you back to a place of profound connection, to the source of all your joy and all your strength. So, let us simply breathe. Let us observe with quiet reverence. Let us allow with open hearts. Love, feel, breathe. The energy within you has never died. It's been waiting for you to awaken. Perhaps the boundary we perceive between fear and desire was never truly clear at all. We draw lines in our minds, in our lives, seeking to categorize, to control. But the deep currents of existence, they rarely adhere to such neat divisions. What if they are not opponents, but two intricate facets of the very same incredible potent force, like two sides of a coin, or the inhale and exhale of a single continuous breath? Imagine them as two swirling eddies within one vast, powerful river that flows ceaselessly through each one of us. This river is life itself. For so long, we have been taught to push fear away, to conquer it, to see it as a weakness, an adversary. And desire, often we have been taught to suppress it, to judge it, to confine it to the shadows, or to a purely physical realm. Yet, what happens when we cease this struggle, when we stop fighting against the very currents that define our being? When we choose to look closer, without judgment, we begin to see. Fear can be the awe-filled tremble before something vast, something overwhelming, something profoundly beautiful. It is the tremor of the soul encountering its own immense capacity. And desire, it can be the profound yearning for connection, for expression, for life to be lived more fully, more deeply. Could it be that the intensity we label as fear is often simply the recognition of the magnitude of our own vitality, the vastness of our own potential? We shy away from our own magnificence, our own power, not just our perceived flaws. And when we cease to be afraid of our own greatness, of the sheer, raw, radiant force that animates us, only then can we truly begin to live. This is not about chasing sensation or suppressing emotion. It is about understanding. It is about integrating. It is about allowing the full spectrum of your inner landscape to exist, to breathe, to flow. When you embrace the trepidation alongside the longing, you are not weakening yourself. You are becoming whole. And in that wholeness lies an undeniable, enduring strength. Between a man and a woman flows not just passion, not merely the fleeting spark of physical attraction, but life itself, a current of creation, of renewal, of shared becoming. This energy, it is ancient, it is sacred. It speaks of beginnings and continuations. It is the very pulse of the universe mirroring itself in human form. Desire is not the body calling, though it may begin there. No, desire is the soul singing. It is the deepest part of you reaching out, yearning for connection, for meaning, for the exquisite dance of existence. It is the soul's language, whispered through every cell, every sensation, every silent longing. When this song is stifled or misunderstood, a vital part of us goes quiet. But when it is honored, seen for what it truly is, it liberates a profound wellspring of energy. When energy is blocked, when these powerful currents are dammed by fear or shame, we don't just lose a part of our sexuality, we lose vitality itself. The sparkle in the eye, the spring in the step, the clarity of thought, the joy of creation, all these begin to dim. But when the river flows freely, when we allow both the tremor and the pull, we unlock something extraordinary. Attraction is not sin. It is not something to be ashamed of or to hide. Attraction is the universe remembering itself. It is the primal recognition of resonance, of a fundamental harmony. It is the magnetic pole that brings elements together, that forms stars, that creates life. To deny it is to deny the very fabric of existence. To understand it, to feel it deeply, to allow it to move through you with reverence, is to connect with a source of profound wisdom. So, let this dance, this intricate interplay between trepidation and attraction, become a source of your deepest strength, a quiet, unshakable resilience that comes from knowing yourself completely, a source of your intuition, that subtle knowing, that inner compass that guides you towards what truly serves your highest good, and a source of your creativity, the spontaneous urge to bring beauty, meaning, and new life into the world. For all these things, strength, intuition, creativity, they are but different expressions of the same flowing life force. When a woman breathes deeply, fully, without holding back, life breathes with her. She becomes a vessel for this ancient energy, radiant, potent, alive. And a man, he doesn't lose power when he ages, when his physical form changes. He loses it when he stops looking with wonder, when he stops seeking the depth, the mystery, the sacred in life and in his connections. These energies, they are not finite. They are not diminished by time or experience. They are infinite, always present, always waiting. They are the essence of who you are. And to connect with them, to embrace their full spectrum, is to step into a richer, more vibrant existence. Love, feel, breathe. The energy within you has never died. It's been waiting for you to awaken.